Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here at my next Airspeed Reads Naruto video. This one is going to be for volume 39 of the manga, which is called On the Move. We cover another 10 chapters this time around, chapter 350 to 359, news of the clash, the man-to-man talk, his plan, the Akatsuki assembles, On the Move, where to, collision, Deidara versus Sasuke, chasing C2, and those eyes. Overall, solid enough volume. I don't think it's one of the better ones, but there's some important plot stuff in terms of moving us on to, I suppose, what the next kind of arc plot of the series is. The gist of the volume obviously revolves around finding out now what exactly Sasuke's plan is after killing Orochimaru, and then finding out what belief and Naruto's plan is once they find out that he's killed Orochimaru and is not returning to the Leaf Village. And the big thing here that kind of sets a plot into motion is that they both come to the conclusion Itachi is next. So that's what Sasuke wants to do next. Now that he has kind of absorbed Orochimaru's power and is powerful enough to defeat him, Sasuke wants to take out his brother at last, and the Leaf Village are basically aware that that's probably what he's going to want to do next, and so they plan to basically capture Itachi and then basically force Sasuke from there to join them because they've helped him to, I suppose, capture the one person he wanted to take out. So, you get some other reveals here and there, but in general that's it. There's some nice stuff with the Akatsuki in the middle, as I'll get to. But yeah, might as well start from here on. So yeah, we actually open up with the Leaf finding out what's happened. Naruto is kind of obviously still healing after his Rasen Shuriken injury. He and Sakura are called into Tsunade's office, and she is there with Jiraiya, and he basically informs them he's brought back the news that he's heard Orochimaru is dead, and Sasuke is the one who's killed him. And we get the reaction we expected. They're all like, yay, when's he coming back? He's just killed Orochimaru. That means he's gotten past this whole idea of he's willing to let Orochimaru take his body because all he wants to do is kill Itachi. That's not happening, so they think it's over, that he's going to return, but that's not the case. And how that kind of quickly turns around and they realize there's a problem. At that point we cut back to the Sasuke side of the story, and we obviously left off last volume with they're just about to find Jugo. And we see that he was basically saying, if the next person that comes into my room is a woman, I'll kill her. And it was meant to be some weird sort of setup that if Karin is the first one to walk into the room with Jugo, she's going to be killed. But when it actually happens, when Jugo actually kind of arrives, when they actually get to him, Sasuke is the one to enter the door. And just prior to that, Jugo switches his mind. He's like, no, if it's a man, I'll kill him. And the fight that we get here between Jugo and Sasuke is quick. It's basically just they both use their curse marks almost instantly. And we get some commentary from Jugo saying, I haven't seen a copycat this good since Kimimaro. So obviously we know Kimimaro had the curse mark, now Sasuke has it. And we're straight away seeing Jugo begin to compare Sasuke to Kimimaro. So gets lost but then comes back in and interrupts the fight. Sasuke immediately kind of turns his power level up and stops both of them with a snake jutsu, and we see how serious he is. And basically, at this point, it's kind of it's this ability that Sasuke has with Jugo that he's able to kind of calm him down. Jugo is so shocked by this kind of restriction from Sasuke that he kind of snaps out of his killing mode and becomes kind of his usual, I suppose, fairly meek self that he doesn't actually like to kill anyone. And he's beginning to see even more comparisons to Kimimaro. So I think that's an interesting one to kind of retroactively give Kimimaro this kind of backstory that he was the one who was able to keep Jugo calm. And he's dead, and Kimimaro doesn't have anyone like that. Jugo doesn't have anyone like that anymore, but now it's basically kind of Sasuke who has that. And it is an interesting kind of plot point here to have this, that Sasuke sees this and without acting overly nice, kind of is aware of this issue that Jugo has and kind of offers himself as I'll be the one to kind of help keep you in check and keep you from going insane and being driven crazy with these urges to kill. I'll be like your cage, I think is basically the line that he says. And that he convinces him by saying, Kimimaro died for me, he's gone. And we get a little flashback kind of showing us the moment where Kimimaro basically left to be aware of the fact that Sasuke was going to be the vessel for Orochimaru, and you can see that it's kind of transferred for Jugo here, that it's going to be Sasuke who's the one to keep him in line, and that's how he gets Jugo's loyalty, is just by convincing him that, like, I'll be the one to keep you in check. It is an interesting enough, like, idea behind why Jugo joins the team of his own free will. The only thing with this whole Team Hebi plot that I never fully got, and I don't think was explored the best, was why exactly did he choose this team? Karin, I get that he's searching for Itachi. He doesn't know straight away where he is. He needs an amazing sensory type ninja who has special skills. That's Karin, of course. Jugo, I sort of get in that, like, the whole curse mark thing, but they don't really make it clear, like, what exactly he wants him for. Like, was Sasuke aware that Jugo could do that weird curse mark healing thing, where, like, if Sasuke ever got really badly injured, Jugo could, being the origin of the curse mark, could do something to heal him from a really bad injury. Suigetsu, as well, I was just kind of like, does he have him on his team because it's someone who will fight just as hard for him, because he's also basically after a member of the Akatsuki in Kisame, and that because Kisame and Itachi are teamed up, Suigetsu will fight for me once I help him get these swords? Or is it just because he sees Suigetsu's kind of water invincibility kind of power, that you can't really kill him, as some sort of, like, huge bonus? Because it becomes fairly clear that he doesn't care a massive amount about them. I think deep down he cares a little bit, and that he's not just going to let them be killed if the time comes to it. He's going to protect them if he can, but they're relatively expendable to him. It's definitely one of the more underdeveloped aspects of, I suppose, the entire series, in that I never felt I had the best idea exactly about how this whole group really felt about each other. Like, them towards Sasuke, you do kind of get it. Karin really likes him in a romantic sense. Jugo has just been explained here, sees him as the next, the reincarnation of Kimimaro, the one who can keep him in check. And then Suigetsu is just like, if I go with him, he's my best chance at getting the swords. But Sasuke towards them, I think, is still a little bit of an enigma. Anyway, the big conclusion that we get is that, they're all going to go after Itachi. That's the big plan that's happening. And Kakashi comes in and he's going to help lead this mission, and kind of comes to the conclusion that they're going to need more than one team if they want to capture Itachi. One usual four-man cell isn't going to be enough. They need more than that this time out. And so the mystery is, it's going to be Team 7 and what team to also go on this mission. But before that, we go back to the Akatsuki. We see they have captured the Four Tails and are about to seal... Kisame has captured the Four Tails. It's established that Itachi was not even involved in this fight. Kisame did all of the work here and caught the Four Tails Jinchuriki. And they very quickly get into contact with Pain, and they basically start to kind of reveal kind of what happened. They kind of reveal that the deaths of all of the Akatsuki members, but before that happens, we do get a cutaway to Kakashi coming in and kind of saying all that stuff. They immediately reveal to them that Kakuzu and Hidan have been killed, in addition to Orochimaru. And surprisingly, it's Orochimaru who sparks the most discussion among the Akatsuki members. Deidara is kind of like, who did it? Who killed him? I was meant to be the one who killed Orochimaru. And once it's revealed that it was Sasuke, obviously the attention turns to Itachi. Like, how do you feel about this? But Deidara also kind of gets annoyed at this as well, because he sees this slight against him that, oh, your brother was the one who took out the person I wanted to take out. I'm now wanting to take out him. And so Deidara's targeting Sasuke, and that's the kind of the setup for that. So you get the idea that, okay, we're going to have some interruptions before everyone kind of comes together, but how exactly is it all going to play out? But yeah, we come back to the Leaf Village, and this is where it's established that they're bringing in another team to help them out. And then randomly, just before the Team Hebi start on their main mission, we get this. It's a kind of weird tonal moment for Team Hebi. Sasuke brings them to a place that has ninja cats, and he has this woman called Granny Cat, who I don't know is his actual grandmother or just a clan that they're relatively familiar with that will help them, and it happens to be the kind of the ninja cat family. And it's really weird to see Sasuke so serious right now, just about to embark on the final stage of his journey to take out Itachi, going to get supplies from someone called Granny Cat, and talking really respectfully about these ninja cats that can talk in the room and stuff like that. Thankfully, she herself, Granny Cat, gets across the seriousness of this, and that, like, I've known the both of you since you were wee things. I never imagined it would come to this. Today, you are the only two remaining Uchiha, and yet you must kill each other. And they give them supplies, some extra clothes, medicine, and then send them off on their way. But yeah, we do also kind of cut back to the Akatsuki one final time, and just get the idea of what's happening here, that Deidara is going after Sasuke, and Itachi's not really having much of a reaction to this. He's not giving away if he feels about this at all. As we just get the constant duality throughout the volume of basically Naruto's team, Kakashi's team, and Sasuke's team are both setting out on their missions at basically the same time, with the same goal in the end, just slightly different. That Naruto's team wants to capture Itachi to bring Sasuke back, whereas Sasuke just wants to kill Itachi. And yeah, they set them up into teams. The most notable thing here is that Naruto, as the Jinchuriki, is put on a team with Yamato and Hinata. So they're placing Hinata and Naruto together again. No focus on it all that much here, just that, you know, Hinata blushes when she's put on the team. She's like happy to work with him, and so on. Whereas on the other side of the story, Karin sees this journey as a chance to get closer to Sasuke, and she kind of throws herself at him, but he's just like, no, I don't really care. But yeah, after this we just get them kind of gradually figuring out the best way to approach Itachi. They're kind of on their way. We cut back to Deidara figuring out some stuff, as we just kind of gradually progress through, and suddenly, again, the duality here. Each group is confronted by someone. Sasuke's group is confronted by Tobi and Deidara, that team of Akatsuki members, whereas Naruto's group, specifically his part of the team, is encountered by Kabuto. And that's interesting because last we saw Kabuto, he was kind of just left alone in the Orochimaru base, shocked that Sasuke had managed to like completely defeat Orochimaru like that, and that Orochimaru is gone. And you just thought that, like, what's he going to do next? Kabuto is fairly powerful on his own. What's up with him? And he suddenly appears here in this kind of scenario. It's very interesting how this kind of comes about. And what he says to Naruto is very interesting in that he just says that, you know, where's the line exactly? He talks about his backstory. He says, you know, picked up and raised by the enemy with no memory of my parents or birthplace. I was used as a spy since I was a child, moving around from country to country, village to village. For a long time, the idea of home was alien to me until I became Lord Orochimaru's disciple. But now he's gone. This pain I'm feeling of not knowing who I am, of being without an identity, you felt it too, haven't you, Naruto? And you know, he goes a little bit into knowing Naruto's history, and basically that through interacting with you, I've learned to kind of see that just following Orochimaru and making that my identity was not the right way to do things, and I'm going to try and be like you, Naruto. And you think what's happening here is he's going to try and become his own person. He gives them a book of information about like the Akatsuki and stuff like that, that he's helping them to hunt down the rest of the Akatsuki, because Orochimaru also wanted the Akatsuki taken out since he left them. So Kabuto would obviously feel the same way. But the twist is that he's taken this obviously villainous approach to Naruto's kind of ideals, and instead of, basically improving himself, he sees that instead of following Orochimaru, I'm going to use what I've absorbed of Orochimaru to become an even better version of myself. That, in essence, I shouldn't follow Orochimaru, I should become him now that he's gone. And it's this big shocking moment that you think it's this big turn for this character who has just revealed to us, a pretty tragic backstory of his own, that he's always he's never really had his own identity. He's always just been used by people or followed people. Who is he himself? And we kind of get that here. And yeah, Hinata uses her Byakugan, and basically the reveal is that how he's done this is that he's grafted a bit of Orochimaru's corpse onto himself, and that is gradually kind of like infecting him and taking him over. And Hinata reveals that it's basically like a third of his body has been taken over by Orochimaru, and we don't really know what exactly is happening here. Like, is Kabuto in control? Will Orochimaru take over at some point? Or what? But anyway, what happens is Naruto goes to attack, Kabuto counters, Yamato stops him, and he just flees. Kabuto just leaves, that he reveals after saying, my first priority is his killer Sasuke, that Kabuto now is also going to go after Sasuke. So Sasuke is making enemies of himself, having taken out Orochimaru. That his path to Itachi is actually becoming even more kind of filled with people, rather than what it was before. Before, he didn't really have any enemies, he was just with Orochimaru. Now, all of a sudden, he's killed Orochimaru, he has Deidara after him, the Akatsuki are suddenly all about Sasuke, Kabuto now wants revenge as well, and it's just all this stuff kind of coming about. The rest of the volume is a couple of pages of Deidara flashback towards the end, and then primarily the Sasuke versus Deidara fight scene, with Tobi assisting Deidara a little bit. And it's a very interesting fight, because obviously Deidara has a very unique style of fighting with his explosive style, the art, and then him now fighting someone like Sasuke, who is so talented, and especially then getting the flashback and knowing the history of Deidara and Itachi. It's fascinating how it actually goes about. And I think because of that, I'll actually address the flashback first. So, the flashback towards the end is basically how the Akatsuki got Deidara on their side, how he became a member. So, Kisame, Itachi, and Sasori came to visit. Basically, they've heard about him. He was assisting kind of like terrorists in the region with explosives, and they now want him. And the idea here is that he doesn't really want to join the organization. All he cares about is his art, and he sees something in these terrorists, and they kind of don't get why he's not using his talents for something kind of more meaningful, but he doesn't really care. We start to see the very beginning of the odd relationship between Sasori and Deidara and their different perspectives on art. Deidara is obviously like art's an explosion. It should last for only one fleeting minute of just pure brilliance and luminance. That's what art is. It should be just that one moment. Whereas Sasori is obviously more about, no, art should be permanent. It should always remain as it is. That's why he wants to kind of turn his body into something that could persist forever, basically turning himself into a living puppet. And you see the differences in their personality. But what happens here is eventually Deidara gets too kind of confident and eventually agrees to this whole thing of I will fight Itachi. If I lose, I'll join you. And as Deidara starts to fight, we think he's delivering all these explosives to Itachi, when in fact, he's been under genjutsu the entire time since the fight started. He glanced up at Itachi's eyes and was under genjutsu and was basically fighting himself the entire time, nearly blew himself up. And this severe embarrassment has caused Deidara to kind of hate Itachi, hate the Sharingan, hate the Uchihas basically from this moment, and that's why he feels so strongly about going after Sasuke, because he sees this as not only a way to kind of do something against the Uchiha, because now another Uchiha has taken out the one person he did really want to kill, and it's this kind of amazing moment for him. But the fight itself, going back to the Sasuke fight, is really interesting in that it's kind of a big disadvantage for Sasuke. He's not really a long-range fighter. He has some jutsu that has a decent amount of range to it. We saw he can kind of project a blade of lightning pretty far, but it just still has a definite range. Deidara is pure long distance, can just make stuff explode from long range, and it's kind of like one mistake for Sasuke and he's going to get himself blown up. There's some really clever moments of the fight where like he gets Toby to kind of plant the field full of mines, and so Sasuke can't really step on the ground without taking damage. So he kind of just sticks his sword in the ground, and he's kind of constantly like diffusing Deidara's bombs using his lightning style stuff. But he sticks his blade in the ground, uses that as a foothold to get some extra height, starts to gain the advantage, and you're seeing this whole idea of like Deidara hates genius level shinobis, the likes of the Uchiha, and he gets so frustrated that Sasuke is making a comeback and almost defeating him that he decides to go for his ultimate attack, that the kind of one that he didn't even use like against Gaara, you know, the C4 Karura or whatever Toby calls it. He eats the clay, starts spewing it out of his mouth and kind of creating something, and it's going to be this crazy move that like Toby's getting out of the way. Deidara's telling Toby to run away because he's going to get caught up, and they've set up basically this idea that Deidara was almost destined from day one to kill himself, blowing himself up, and it looks like he's about to do that just to get revenge on Sasuke. So, interesting stuff. Again, reflecting on the volume, it's solid enough. You know, the reveal about Kabuto, everyone going towards Itachi now, and the kind of interruptions that are happening along the way, that Kabuto just came into contact with Naruto's squad, Deidara and Toby have just encountered Sasuke. Where's this going? Like, are they eventually all just going to come together around Itachi? Who's going to encounter Itachi first? Will Naruto and Sasuke meet again? All these sort of questions that you're wondering, like, are we going to have another encounter already, or what? So, again, solid volume, not the best, but some interesting stuff for sure. So, yeah, that's been the volume. I'll just end by saying, links in the description to my Twitter and Tumblr if you want to follow me on social media. Links to my Patreon page, and also my PayPal donation link if you want to help support my channel so I can make more videos and better videos. But that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.